What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
I forget what number we're on. Hello, everyone.
Forget. I think it's 58.
It is.
58, yes.
58. Wowie.
58 Falcon episodes. Jesus
Christ. Somehow
That
we've
is
talked about F1 for 58 episodes, and last week it was 2 hours.
58 in some weeks. Some change in there of talking about F1. Which is wild.
Yeah, we've maybe done like 3
would
weeks
say
with no episode. We didn't do an episode after your wedding. We didn't do an episode after Pop Up passed.
Yeah, I would say at most we've taken 5 weeks off. I would say so. At least 50 weeks of talking about this sport, and
that's wild.
It's shenanigans.
One whole season.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can see there's a cat sitting outside.
Kitty
So I
cat.
can turn my camera. It's like one of the apartment area's cats. I don't know who it belongs to, but it's one of the ones that always walks around. But it's like sitting in the bushes directly across in the mulch. It's just enjoying the nice weather.
I'm very jealous of that cat. But yes, welcome everyone. Feel like we do this every couple weeks, but if you're just finding us, my name is Owen. That is Casey. She's my sister. We started the show 58 episodes ago, as you just heard.
A year ago.
A whole year ago. We post weekly episodes. Just talking about F1 stuff, F1 news in general, anything that happens in the F1 world. We also are starting to branch a little bit more into, IndyCar and F1 Academy and F2 and all that stuff. So we try to make it a good time and make it entertaining for anybody to listen to. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for popping in and taking a listen.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you listened, we know one person listened to the whole episode last week.
Yes.
Shout out to you, Linus. Thank you for
posting
Linus. The secret code phrase to us. This week is not going to be an hour and 45 minutes long.
No, it will not.
So we'll save you a lot of your time. But yeah, we're gonna meme of the week, some weekly news, because ever since we hit end recording last week, a lot's happened.
A good amount has happened.
Yeah, and then History with Owen. We promised this last week. Also, that's Ferrari Blue related, and then maybe Miami. Because we're back in a good time zone. I should
have worn a blue shirt.
So I was red shirt. Gonna put my blue Ferrari sweatshirt on, but it's like the middle of July today, so I didn't feel like sitting in here with a sweatshirt on.
Yeah, you would have been dying in that.
Mm-hmm. I'm already dying in this t-shirt, so.
Yeah, I'm refraining from sitting all the way back in my chair because there's no circulation. So it's just my back will be a sweaty mess when I sit down.
But yeah, so we will get into it. Meme of the week. You're going first today because mine.
Oh, okay. I'm going first.
Yeah. Putting it up there.
Mine pertains to blow it up for everybody. This is so good. So it's breaking news. Carlos signed to join Dynaco Racing in 2025. It's obviously just taking the picture of the blue race suits from Miami this weekend and just like overlaying this graphic over it. But the reason I loved it was because if you listen to last week, I think when we were talking about it, I said if the Ferrari blue livery is anything short of the dream sequence in the first Cars movies where Lightning McQueen envisions himself racing for Dynaco and there's a shot of him going from red to blue, if it's anything short of that, I'm going to be disappointed. And right now, all the signs are pointing to it's going to be something like that because we have these sick all blue racing suits. We have Carlos and Charles's helmet today. You just told me this, Casey, too. The Ferrari store leaked their helmets, and then they officially posted them. Their helmets are blue, they look awesome. And then they also, Ferrari just posted a picture of one of the wheels on the car, but it's the inside. Obviously, it's not the tire. It's like the rim. I guess you could call it, is all blue, and it looks like all the signs right now are really pointing to that this blue livery is going to be blue and is going to be fully blue, and I'm so excited for it.
No, I really. Also, this picture just makes me crack up because their skin is blue. That whoever. I get that they wanted the blue lighting and the blue background, but the editing looks awful. Whoever approved that, if you still have a job.
They do. If anybody has ever watched Game of Thrones and has seen what a White Walker looks like, that's what the color of their skin looks like, essentially.
It's so funny, especially the one where it's the two of them standing side by side. If you zoom in on their hands, they're the same color blue as the race suit.
Yeah.
That was going to be my meme of the week, but it is not. So if you happen to watch the IndyCar race yesterday, the funniest thing happened. So my meme of the week is just the entire moment that happened, because there's so many things that came from it that I just keep looking at it and cracking up over and over again. I was full on belly laughing when I was watching the TV. So if you're not familiar with the park,
it is a good clip.
There's random art installations all over the track. There's a big spider. There was a woman mannequin, affectionately named Georgina, hanging from the bridge, and someone went back under in Will Power's Twitter that he took a video from 2016 of them doing a track walk, and they noticed the woman hanging. So she's been there for a very long time. Until yesterday, she's a fell
staple.
Yesterday, lap 52 of the race. So this is the video.
I love that. No, Georgina, no. It is
and she gets her hand run over. So she's
gonna say her hand just got chopped off.
Disappears. It's just the way she drops feet first. The skirt goes down, and then she falls. So yeah, that's the original. That's the moment. I was on Twitter so fast. I was I need that video. I need to see the video. So many other moments.
60 replies, by the way. That's fucking
60 replies. This guy, when they cut to this race strategist trying not to lose it. It was so good.
I don't know how he is holding it. I'd be losing my mind.
Yeah. So trying not to lose it. It was so funny. This screenshot is just perfect. The way she's standing perfectly up with the skirts at her ankles. Someone said, "Why does she look like a bad Taylor Swift impersonator?" And I said, "I don't know, but it's so good." And then for the people that were well, that could have been dangerous. That could have been dangerous. They were quick with it. I think they had a caution for 2 laps. The best part is the medical car came out and picked her up.
Jesus God Almighty! This is just
wait. It gets better. And then after the race winner, Scott McLaughlin takes a picture with her. But apparently, he literally took the picture, and as soon as they took the picture, he was up and moving because he was so freaked out. Rightfully so. I mean, it's a little creepy. It's the hand missing. She looks like she's been through it. But yeah, James Hinchcliffe said over the radio, over the broadcast, hopefully she's okay. And I need them to release the footage because they were saying that they were Hinch is gone. He apparently had to get up and walk away because he was cracking up. He could not keep it together. He literally, they were Hinch he's losing it. I need them to release the footage of inside the commentary box or wherever they were sitting because it's probably so funny. Pato's radio comes over. He said, the girl hanging from the bridge fell. It's just... it's the funniest series of events that I've ever witnessed. And I just there's also another video that I posted on Threads. Someone else posted it because people could watch on top of that bridge. People could watch. And there's like a glass floor so you can see down to the track. So there's a video of someone's taking and they're like slowly zooming in. And you see Georgina face down on the track and the car just whizzing by.
Oh my God.
It's also a great way to show how fast those cars go. Just because like they're whizzing by. Yeah, hold on, wait. I'm sure there are other. I just kept going back and literally cracking up. That's all I posted. It was the funniest series of events I've ever seen. I said F1 wishes they could have a whole like what was you can't even say the groundhogs when the cat was on the track last year and Charlotte Claire was like there's a cat on the track.
There's a cat.
Or also when was it in Japan or Singapore when like the dragon or the bearded dragon or whatever, like the big lizard runs across?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I feel like that's the closest you get to it. But I also need to hear everyone's radio. Apparently, the kid that ran over her hand, or the one that was right there as she fell, it was his debut. So, like, talk about like the car that's going by as she's falling. It was his first race in any car ever.
I want to see. That's the footage that I want to see. I want to see the high speed stress of like flying down that straight and then just seeing the mannequin come toppling down from the fucking rafters. Oh my God.
I remember like not paying attention for a while and like all of a sudden I hear there's a mannequin on the track and I was like, a mannequin? It's like, what the hell? And I look up and then they show the thing and I was like, oh my God. And everyone just kept going. Like we just kept like the jokes were writing themselves. It was so easy just to keep saying like funny things over and over and over again. Like I was like, she stuck the landing because she literally landed on her feet. Yeah. And then, but she was wearing like
her hands up too. Like
she was wearing like stilettos, and I was like, I know her feet are killing her today because she fell with her whole body weight on her feet.
It's so good. It
was so good. They could not like, and before that track, like with the guy, like he wants it to be like he wants it to be funny and like all that stuff. So it just is perfect that it was at that track. Beautiful track though. I was texting Tasia. I said I want to go to Barber next year. It's like. They call it the like Augusta of IndyCar because it's like the rolling hills of Alabama, like it's covered in like trees and like a forest and stuff. It's really nice looking. It's pretty.
That does sound nice.
Mm-hmm. Just with a big spider in the grass and a woman hanging from the.
A weird move.
Mm-hmm. So this episode is dedicated to Georgina. Just want to put it out there. Hope she's doing well.
Rip in loving memory of Georgina.
No, she's alive. She's alive.
She fell from a rafter and got her hand taken off.
She didn't die. She's there. She was seen with fans leaving the track. No, there was a group of fans that took
Should
like a photo.
Should we be concerned about that?
No, I don't think they left with her, but there was a group of fans that took a picture with her like outside of the media tent or whatever. The guy they have a museum for like weird stuff at the track, so I'm sure she's going in there. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
She's a moment of history now, IndyCar history. But yeah, that was meme of the week, the funniest thing ever.
Because you know when they go back to that track next year too, they'll like bring it up and be like, remember this? Like when this happened, like that's yeah.
I just want to hear all the radios from that exact moment, like. It's just parallel. Yeah. The girl from the bridge fell. I can just hear him saying that in his voice. But yeah. Also, oh no. Can you hear that?
Just a tiny bit. It's not like annoying or anything. Okay. You're fine.
I watched episode 1 of season 2 of 100 Days, and it's about St. Pete. Anytime they were showing like crowd shots, I was like, Rewind.
Scanning for yourself.
There's a shot. It's literally like right when it comes up, and I think the title screen says qualifying day. There is like 3 of the girls we were with walking across the screen, but I happen to not hear them at the exact moment. So, I feel like I need to go back and watch it again. But yeah, so it is this season. So episode 2 maybe it's the $1 million challenge, but episode 2 or 3 is gonna be very big about the whole disqualification. So
Yeah.
because episode 1 was fully about Joseph Newgarden. That was like the entire episode 1. But yes, meme of the week. Thank you for letting me talk about Georgina.
We appreciate it.
Weekly news. First piece of news: the Hulkenberg is going to Sauber next year.
He's going
2025 to then go to Audi in 2026.
Yes. Which I want to say that we have it confirmed, but like obviously
No, we have it confirmed.
It's no. I'm saying like I want to say it's confirmed that then it'll be Sainz and Hulk in 2026.
Yeah.
Which is like again, that's why I'm saying like I want to say it's confirmed, but also
it's still so up in the air. Like Carlos was at MotoGP this weekend, and I think his dad was talking and basically saying like there's everything's still up in the air. But then you have reports coming out that Audi's given Carlos a deadline, and they're now looking at Esteban Ocon for the other seat. Like that's what I said last week. Carlos has to make his mind up. He has to, or he's going to be without a seat.
He's got to figure something out.
But yeah, Hulkenberg, talk about a comeback, was out of the sport.
Yeah.
Came back in Haas. Is now like probably one of the most consistent drivers on the grid. Week in and week out, and now is going to another team. But yeah, good move. Sauber was perfect posting that picture with the green overlay. Obviously, Hulkenberg with that color green is perfect. If they didn't do that, I would have been disappointed. But
yeah, no, I like the move for Hulk. I think it's a solid move. I mean, it's so hard to like talk about Audi eventually in 2026 because not only will it be a new team, but we'll also have the new regulations. So it's like there's going to be so many different things there. But the fact that he's gone there next year, I think it's good. I think it's a solid, like, again, kind of just like interim year.
Yeah.
Of just like, here we go. And we'll see what happens this year. But then like next year when we are Audi and when there is new regulations and everything, it's when everybody's going to kind of kick back into like full swing.
Yeah.
So I like it for him. Yeah. I think the whole like next year with the new regulations in 2026 and that all playing into it, that could be a whole separate episode. But I think for Nico and making that move, and like you said, from stepping away from the sport to then coming back in Haas and now signing with another team for a multi-year contract, I think is awesome. Love to see it for him. Yeah,
I mean, it does bring up the question who, like, if Carlos goes next year, both Joe and Bottas are without a seat. So, like, where does it? I mean, maybe I can see Bottas retiring and then going to be like a full-time cyclist. I've said it before, but maybe I don't want to see Joe gone. Like, can Joe go to Williams? If Mercedes is bringing in Kimi, can Joe go to Williams with Alex? Like, I just would like
it's just I definitely don't want to see Joe leave and get booted out now because he doesn't have a seat. But yeah, I mean, it's so hard because it's like, all right, right now we know at least Valtteri or Joe are out of their seat. So then it's okay, well, where are they going to go? And then you brought up a great point of what happens with Kimi Antonelli next year. And is he coming up? Like, is he making that jump? And is he going to replace somebody at Williams and then take the step up to Mercedes? Or is he just coming straight up to Mercedes and they're going to kind of go with that, veteran rookie pairing of Russell and Kimi and everything? And it raises, again, it's this domino effect of once one driver makes a move, it affects everybody else on the grid. And it's just like, and even you can even make that argument for like, if a driver retires, that it's like, that still affects everybody because now that's a seat open for another driver to be like, oh, I want to go. Cool. I've always wanted to race for that team. Let me see if I can jump over there, and
no, yeah, definitely. That was a good segue into what we could talk about next. Because you said how it affects everyone else. But before we get there, I do think Kevin to not Kevin, Nico to Audi makes sense. German driver with a German team.
Yeah.
I also like I really think Carlos is going there, but Carlos and Nico have been teammates before. So that's not unfamiliar territory. Like, they're used to each other, They understand each other. So I think that'd be a good first team pair for Audi to start off with. But I think Audi having a German driver just makes sense. People were saying last year Mick could have been going there if he was still on the grid, but obviously he's not. Maybe in the future, but yeah, no, it does. I do like the move. I'm happy for Nico. Like we said, it's great story for him to continue, and he's been so consistent. So yeah, that will be interesting to see. But yeah, one other seat filled. They're dwindling down. There's obviously still so many drivers that need a seat, or that need a new contract. So it's not going to be over anytime soon. But as Owen said, it does affect everyone else, not just the drivers. And last week on the 25th, on Thursday, I don't think I focused on one thing at work because I thought we were living through another. I still think it's up to this level. I thought we were living through a Lewis Hamilton going to Ferrari situation with these Adrian Newey rumors. Like, I have the graphic ready to go because I was like, this is dropping today with how fast it blew up, how it was being talked about on Sky Sports. They were doing like emergency breaking news little videos. It was on BBC. I was like, oh, this is happening like right now.
First of all, I 100% agree with your assessment of like it's on the same level as Lewis going to Ferrari. I 100% agree with that. I was already preparing that like analogy for tonight because I knew we were going to talk about it, and it's just like it's insane. Just the stats you hear about Adrian Newey too, and just how many cars he has designed and how they've gone on to win, and it's just like it's absurd how much of like an engineering like visionary he is when it comes to like Formula One. And it's just like
he's genius.
Anybody, you get him on the team and you're instantly at least propelled into top 3 of like like contenders for championships, the next year or whatever. But it's like, it's the fact that you're right. How fast, how quickly it blew up. It was like, and that's the same thing. Like, I was on Twitter all day, just like, is this happening? Like, and you see, anytime with these rumors, it's like, you see it come out and you're like, oh, like, okay, whatever. It comes off more as like a conspiracy theory instead of like, hey, this is actually happening. And then you see, okay, we're getting some outlets writing about it. We're getting some art. It's not just people tweeting about it and saying like, oh, I heard this, like, and then, you have Sky Sports tweet an article, and then you have BBC tweet. And it's just like and that's like the switch where it's like, oh shit, like this is
happening.
And
moves
it's like,
are being made.
And if he's, I know, because then once BBC and Sky Sports started tweeting about it, I think we transferred from the area of like, okay, he's leaving today to, okay, he's leaving at the end of the season in 2025 because that's when his contract's up. So it like kind of shifted the narrative to like, okay, he will be out of Red Bull, which I do think that's happening. I do think that at the end of 2025, if he has to stay there that long, I think he's out at the end of 2025.
Yeah, but even, in the BBC article, I have it up, they believe that he can negotiate an exit that will allow him to leave before the end of 2025. Like, he could leave today, because then you have the issue of the gardening leave. So he could leave today and then take a full year gardening leave, and wherever he goes, whether that's Ferrari, Aston Martin, or apparently Mercedes, he could start this time next year, which would be perfect timing for 2026.
So yeah, it'd be
an upgrade
insane
for 2025. Like,
yeah,
be perfect.
yeah. You would get him. You would get him for mid-season upgrades.
Yeah.
And his insight on that, and then you're right. You would have him for that full design and production period of a 2026 car underneath those new regulations. So it's like, yeah, like if he genuinely, because the reports were also that like the reason he wants to leave is just is like he's not happy with like the management situation.
So
there,
I do have up the BBC article, and this is like we had people on social media being like, do you trust these sources? I'm like, I'm sorry, do I trust the BBC? That's like one of the most trusted sources in the world. Yes.
I trust the BBC.
And the guy who's writing the articles for this is the F1 correspondent. He was writing every single news article about the Red Bull situation, all that. Yes, I believe what's coming from this man. So it says the 65-year-old has been unsettled by the situation at Red Bull since Horner was accused of sexual harassment and coercive abusive behavior by a female employee, which Horner denies.
Right.
Now, no one's made a comment, really. I'm sure this upcoming weekend that will change. There's not they're being asked a question about this.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so he wants out. He wants to leave. That's apparent. Where he goes is now the question. Ferrari and Aston Martin are the biggest two. I've been saying if Fred gets Lewis Hamilton and Adrian Newey in the span of 6 months, I will cry tears of joy.
I genuinely, I think if Adrian Newey does go on to leave Red Bull and go to Ferrari, you're seeing you're going to see a season full of amazing fights between Charles and Lewis, and
Charles, Lewis, and Max.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing with Max is like Max is a phenomenal driver. Don't get me wrong. But he has said himself, he's been quoted saying, like, no, a lot of my speed and everything comes from the car underneath of me. Which, like, again, yes, Max is a weirdo and is a robot when it comes to racing. But you take Adrian Newey out of that equation, I would say he's right on par. I would say Max, that gap is 10 seconds less. Now, like that's the thing. Like, it's within the range of like, okay, Ferrari's within DRS range of Red Bull in front of him and everything, in front of them. And it's just like, I genuinely think that if like, and I'm going to say this just because I think it'll hit a little bit harder. If Adrian Newey goes to Red Bull or goes to Ferrari, we're seeing Lewis Hamilton get his 8th world championship.
100%.
I feel very confident making that claim. And it's just like, that's just the weight and the power that he has. Like, he is so ridiculously smart when it comes to engineering these cars and taking these like radical ideas and making them work. And it's just like, holy shit. And I mean, for anybody who listening who doesn't know who Adrian Newey is, pretty much the way Red Bull is now and last year and how they were 30 seconds ahead of everybody, all because of Adrian Newey.
Yeah, they're dominant for the past few years because of his engineering of that car. Yeah.
And it is wild. So, yeah, I mean, I feel that's the thing. Like, right now, a lot of it, yes, is just rumors. And I feel like the only thing we have confirmed is, like, once 2025 is over, he's out at a minimum. Like, that's it. But, yeah, I'm sure there's something in his contract that's about, if I'm unhappy for this reason or if this happens, then I can leave, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure there's something in there, but yeah, as of right now, I think we can confidently say that 2025 is over. Adrian Newey is out,
walking away,
and is going to go somewhere else. And right now, I think the front runner is Ferrari. So
yeah. So I also posted this the other day. I'm interested to see what you think. So obviously, the other front runner is Aston Martin. I can see, obviously, I would love for him to go to Ferrari. I think we would hear the bells in Maranello in America. That's how loud they'll be ringing if he goes Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
But The only thing I can see him going to Aston Martin is because they have Honda coming. Adrian Newey is used to that engine. He understands how it works. He knows how that Honda power unit works. So that's the only way I could see him maybe wanting to go to Aston Martin. And I mean, same thing. If he goes to Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso, we could see winning another world championship.
I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you take any team right now with a veteran driver or a driver who has shown promise of winning a world championship, and you could realistically make the claim of
they're gonna have a pretty decent fight.
Yeah, if Adrian Newey's in there, they're at least top 3 in the world drivers championships, and that's like still they still have a solid chance to win it. And yeah, I would think Aston Martin Aston Martin's definitely a front runner for it, and I didn't even think of the Honda engine aspect of it. That's a great point. It's definitely, you're right. He knows that engine. He knows the ins and outs of it. He knows the development process of it, like what he can do to make it do the things that he wants it to do. And it's just like,
and I mean, he wouldn't have to move. He literally, his new workplace would be down the street. Like,
yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to retire in the Italian countryside? That doesn't sound too bad to me.
The other thing too that I thought of was because of Lawrence Stroll, he could get a solid fucking payday for a role in Aston Martin. Now, do I think that the money is like everything to Adrian Newey? Probably not. But
he doesn't strike me as that kind of person.
Yeah, but you're a working adult. There's going to be the side of you that's like, wow, holy shit, that's a huge fucking thing of money, that's awesome. Sorry, I just got the loudest alert on my headphones. That killed me.
Good thing it doesn't come through. What
God, that was brutal. I'm on late support, so I have to check an email at a certain time, and I just got it just got the notification from my work laptop, I guess. God, that was brutal. That just derailed my whole train of thought. But yeah, he could get a huge payday from Aston Martin. And I also think too, because we talked about this, we didn't talk about this, but I knew of it. The whole Aston Martin facility has been redone.
Yep.
And it's beautiful and it's state of the art. So it's like Adrian Newey's coming in there with an engine that he knows, with all of this state-of-the-art equipment to maybe even push it further than we could see at Red Bull right now. Like, that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe Red Bull's, facilities are state-of-the-art and are perfect and everything, and it doesn't really make a difference, but it's got to be something that you think about. And, yeah, the fact that he would be right around the corner from his new job, that also helps, too.
Like, he went to uproot his whole entire family. Speaking of Aston Martin, moving on to the next piece of news, I just added this because I remembered. So apparently Lawrence Stroll, our favorite evil villain, is apparently in very early talks to sell up to 25% of his stake in Aston Martin F1 team. This is coming from Bloomberg.com. So again, a very reasonable, reliable source. It would apparently be sold to a U.S. private equity firm called Arctos Partners. But yeah, so that's still very early. That's really the only other thing I've heard from it. But yeah, Lawrence Stroll. I immediately posted it and people were like, bye-bye, Lance. Like,
so this is what I was going to say. He's the sole owner right now, right?
I think so.
Of the team, right?
I'll Google.
This, if he is, and I believe he is, but this to me is 100% a move to make it easier to get rid of Lance, because he is like, the way I'm looking at it and trying to put myself in the mind of what might be a guilty father of kicking out his own son, is you invite this other party in. They're going to look at your son like how we look at his son and be like, he's a shitty driver. He's not that good. You need to get rid of him for this team's success, and then Lawrence puts that off for a little bit, does whatever. And then finally gets to the point where Lawrence is like, I have to do this. I'm getting so much pressure from the other owners, like all this stuff. okay, sorry, Lance, like you're out. Yeah, I saw that the other day, and I was like, that's 100% a like. I want to say cop out for lack of a better term, but like a reason to like eventually be like, sorry, Lance, see you.
Because someone else comes in and they're like, no, like what?
Yeah.
What is he still doing here? He's not giving us the results.
Yeah.
But that was a pretty big piece of news. But like I said, it really was only posted by one source, and then it really wasn't being talked about. But it was still interesting to see because, I mean, it's Aston Martin, so yeah, we'll see where they go with that. Last piece of news. This was today. This is very upsetting. This is messed up. So this is IndyCar news with Aaron McLaren. They announced that they're releasing David Malukas from the team. So if you don't remember, back right before the season started, he was injured on a mountain bike accident. Literally like 2 weeks before we left for Florida. Because I remember being in the group chat with all the girls being like, what the hell? Like, what? So yeah. He's been in a cast ever since. He's not been able to do anything. He's been recovering and all that. They've had two people drive in his car, Callum Ilott and then Theo Pourchaire. But also I learned on the broadcast this past weekend, they call him Teddy Porkchops affectionately. So I like to...
Teddy Porkchops.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That makes his name so much easier to pronounce.
Yeah, same. That's not like it's easy to go by. But yeah, so he... Like, they announced he was joining the team in September of last year. He might be the perfect fit for a McLaren seat because of his personality, his attitude. I mean, he's like a Lando. Like, his personality is so funny. Yeah, so I woke up this morning and it was all over social media that he, like, blacked out all of his social media. Like, his cover photo, profile picture was just black. Took away... like IndyCar driver, Aaron McLaren driver out of his bio. People are like, what is happening?
Whoa.
Because he was at the race this past weekend. Like, he's been at every single race. Like, he's been helping. Yeah. He's been doing things. It was not a good weekend for Aaron McLaren at all. Not a good weekend for McLaren in general because their other driver, Sam Bird, in Formula E, broke his hand in FP1. For Formula E practice. So he didn't drive. Talk about being thrown in, rookie, first drive ever. Where is it? Monaco. More power to you, kid. Yeah, he was the youngest, I think. Formula Walk can correct me on this. He was, I think, the youngest like entry into Formula E ever.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like he was a child. But yeah, so David Malukas. What?
Did you see the other McLaren injury from this weekend?
Oh, yeah, Lando cut his nose. People were like, thought he broke his nose. People were like, what the hell is happening to him? I hope he had a great weekend, Lando. I hope he had a great weekend, and I hope that flight to Miami was rough.
Yeah. Oh, I had to have been rough.
I hope it was rough. But on the Aaron McLaren side, David Rossi went in for a pit stop and then literally drove away, and the tire fell off. So he retired early. Pato... I don't know what the hell Pato's doing. Past 2 weeks, he's had penalties. And basically finished on last. Yeah. I
saw his one penalty.
Yeah. And then Teddy Porkchops didn't do the best, but he's still new. It was his second race in that car, in IndyCar. But yeah, so David Malukas is no longer. It's very upsetting. He didn't even get to try. That's the point. Like, he literally didn't even get to, like, sit in the car and drive it to show him what he got. Because people were bringing up like highlights of his last year. He's good. Like he can, like, he knows how to do. He can drive pretty well. So people were excited to see him in McLaren. But yeah, now he has to try and get a new seat in the mid-season or for next year. But yeah, sad day for McLaren fans. But people were bringing up Zach Brown's past behavior with McLaren drivers and people they wanted, and he doesn't have a good history.
No. Yeah, I mean, as much as I love McLaren, this is not a good look for them or Zach Brown right now. So
no,
kind of just ducking my head and
wait
until it passes over.
Not a good move going into the month of May. That's like the most important month in motorsport for Indy, F1. Like, not a good start. But yeah, that was weekly news. But lots happened.
Weekly news.
Weekly news. No pints and pit stops today, so let's pretend. I've already been drinking it, so.
Rocking my water again this weekend. I need it after Saturday night.
Speaking of someone that had a wild weekend, you and Lando. Except you weren't in Amsterdam.
I was not in Amsterdam. I was in Conshohocken, PA.
The Amsterdam of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there you go. There, yeah.
No, it's not.
All right, so history with Owen. We talked about this last week. We had said that we would do a little bit of a history lesson as to when Ferrari raced with a blue livery in honor of the upcoming blue, hopefully really good livery for this weekend in Miami. So I did a little bit of research.
I hope it was launching while we were on this episode recording.
Are you checking? Has it?
Yes. No, it has not.
Okay.
Listen, I post notifications on Twitter and Instagram. It has not posted, so I feel like it would have at like 7 o'clock.
That's going to be so nice.
But yeah,
when it drops.
sorry,
But regardless, so Ferrari does have a history of racing with a blue livery. It is only like one time throughout their history, which I was a little bummed about because it kind of shortened my research and I wanted to learn more and everything. But there is genuinely a funny story behind this.
Yes.
So this goes back all the way to the beginning of Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari was still alive. And it was genuinely a funny story. So essentially, there were two other races in Ferrari's history where they've worn blue. And that was during the 1964 F1 Formula One season. And funny enough, these two races were Mexico. Sorry, I have my notes right here, and I'm not looking at them, and I keep blanking.
Look at your notes.
Two races were Mexico and then Watkins Glen, which I thought was really cool, just because any sort of mention of Watkins Glen, I'm like, we've been there. Like,
it's a good trip.
We went there. Yeah. So essentially, the way it works, and this is I got this straight from Ferrari's website. So thank you, Ferrari, for posting an article about this. But back then, I don't know if this is still the same thing or not, but if you were to compete in GT racing, which is kind of more like stock road cars, just kind of souped up and whatnot, it was actually the Mustang that we saw in DC was for GT racing. The company had to sell a certain number and build a certain number of road cars. So the FIA came to
Stupid FIA.
Maranello and they went to Ferrari's factory and everything, and they counted all the cars and they were like, hey, you don't have enough cars to race in GT. So they were like, what the hell? You know, Ferrari's like, what the hell's going on? Why? What do you mean? All this stuff, right? So then Italy's motorsport governing body, known as the ACI, then stepped in and also did not back Ferrari whatsoever and pretty much was like, yeah, you guys don't have enough cars. Like, you're not fucking racing, right? So kind of cut into the middle of this a little bit. Ferrari wears red as their liveries and everything because red is a very symbolic color in Italy. It's like the national color, all this stuff. And a lot of cars would wear their national color as their main color. That's why it was always red. And that red was also known as Rosa Corsa, which it translates to racing red. And it's, when you think of Ferrari red, that's what it is. That is the racing red that you're thinking of. So Enzo Ferrari was so pissed off with the ACI, the Italian government, or the body that governed motorsports in Italy, pretty much was like, well, fuck you. We're not racing with red anymore on us. Like, we're not racing with the Italian colors. That's literally what it is. And it's just like the Italian car brand is just like, screw you. We're not racing with, red anymore. So they changed it up and they went to the blue and the white. And the funniest part about this too is when they did this, the F1 season, they had to enter into the races as again, like a screw you kind of thing. They didn't enter the races as Ferrari. They entered the races as NART.
Oh,
so
yeah.
NART. which is the North American racing team.
Yeah.
Woo, yeah. So it's like
Ferrari
this
was ours
Italian.
for once.
It literally is like the most popular Italian car company in the world is now racing in F1 as a blue and white livery, and is also racing under the name of the North American Racing Team. Now the drivers were the same, but they had a new manager. His name was Luigi, actually, which is, I think, hilarious. But he was Ferrari's U.S. importer and has like a history in racing and everything too. So he managed the team for those 2 races, and they went and raced at Watkins Glen, and they placed second. There's one driver. His name is John Surtees. He placed second in Watkins Glen, and that set him up for the race in Mexico to potentially win the F1 World Championship.
No.
But the dispute with the Italian motorsport governing body, the ACI, wasn't done yet. So they entered again to the Mexico GP as Nart and under this blue and white livery. So they go in, and John Surtees wins. He places second again and wins the Formula One World Championship and is like celebrating and whatnot. So this is like really awesome fact. He's the only driver to has become world champion in a Ferrari that's not red.
Oh, that's a cool fun fact.
Yeah. So like he is the blue and white Ferrari driver.
That's
like
cool.
That's like he's able to walk around and be like, I've won for Ferrari, but I won in a blue and white livery. Now, this is where I said it kind of is like a little short-lived, because it was like literally the next season, the dispute was solved and everything. So Ferrari went back to racing in red and racing. Come on,
they weren't going to let them race again after they just won, not under Ferrari. Italy was probably like, get your shit together. Italian government was probably like, dude, don't let that fucking happen again. Like. So again, like I said, it was a little bit shorter than I was expecting, and I was like kind of looking forward to like a deep dive into like all the times they've raced in blue. But it is a really funny story, because it is just Enzo Ferrari being like, "All right, well, fuck you. Like you're not gonna help us. You're not gonna back us. You know, we're gonna go after you then, or in this way." And it was hilarious. So yeah, that now leads to Ferrari then this weekend going into Miami GP, and they said, like, we're embracing our history, and it's right, they were, and I get now again why they're doing it for the US GPs, because they were the North American racing, racing team and whatnot. They're gonna have this blue livery in honor of this 1964 blue livery. Now I really wish they would just go with, because that white and blue, that white with the dark blue, and then it's the light blue wheels is so nice, but based on, I feel like, what their road cars look like, it's going to have more of like the 2 different shades are going to be on it more present, I think. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see their livery. But that's a good.
I saw a mock-up, I think, on Twitter, and it was essentially it was it was Mercedes. Like, think Mercedes car design, how they have her now with like the black on the sides and then the silver down the nose. Think that, but it was the white was on the nose, and then it was blue, dark blue on the sides, and it looked really nice.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at it.
I genuinely, and I think you'll agree with me on this, and we kind of talked about this last week too, is I like the all lighter blue one.
Yeah.
It looks like the Williams Golf livery that they had last year, and I think that's why I like it so much, because we love that. But I think the light blue, just swap the red out for blue livery, is such a departure, and it's so unique for Ferrari that it looks, in my opinion, too good to not have, you know.
And I do like the race suits are literally just the red race suits in blue. Like, everything is still the same, and like it looks like they kept the last name. HP is not on there yet, thank God. Like, that all looks, it's all the same, just a different shade. So I'm so excited to see the livery. I'm happy that it's probably going to be released on a good time. Like last week, I was like, apparently I just can't sleep because I kept waking up to the suits reveal. Like everything. I was like, well, I just want to be able to sleep and enjoy myself. But the Ferrari's releasing it at like 4 a.m. for me, and I'm sorry, but I'm not awake then. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. Don't let me down, Ferrari. Don't let me down.
That's the thing. Like, I'm genuinely scared that this is going to look like garbage, and it's going to really
have done that before.
really upset me. But like I said, from what we've seen so far, from all the merch, from all the race suits being primarily blue, the wheel today, like all this stuff, it is pointing to this is going to be a mostly blue car, and it's just like just give it to us already, please.
And
just
I like the one video they posted. They they make it seem like they let Charles and Carlos have a big say in the design for the livery, which I also think is cool.
Right.
Because in the past, they definitely haven't. Because like when they get to see it, like the video they posted last year for Vegas, like they were seeing it for the first time on the picture. So
yeah,
I think they have a decent hand in it. But yeah, don't let us down, Ferrari. Please don't do it. But I'm excited to see Ferrari blue.
I have really high hopes. But yeah, that's a history of Ferrari racing in blue and white. It's pretty much Enzo Ferrari just saying, "Screw you guys."
It's so perfect.
That's what it is. That's what it is. It's
like Enzo Ferrari. Are you a little American? Because that's like what we would what Americans would have also done. Like it's like screw you.
We would have been like, all right, we'll still race, but we're gonna race under a different name, and we're gonna look completely different. And it's like, oh, okay.
That's like a cool fun fact. Like imagine you're the only Ferrari driver to win in a non-red Ferrari car. In a
non-red Ferrari, because that's
no
the thing.
One else in the world can say that.
You say the word Ferrari and people picture red in their heads.
Yeah.
Like they're immediate, just like red. And then John Surtees has the ability to be like, no, like my Ferrari was blue and white. Like that's the thing. And I don't know if he's still alive today or whatnot, but like any Ferrari I would have gotten after that, I would have been like, make it blue and white.
Yeah.
Like it would just stick with me. Like, and it's like, how can you not be? That's such a cool fact.
Sorry, I was looking up his name, see if he's still alive. I'm gonna say I have a feeling he's not. His pictures are black and white.
John Surtees, race car driver.
No, he's not. He died in 2017. Stop this first picture. When you search his name, this first picture of him in the blue race suit.
He's like the older. Smile. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god, I love him. Oh my god, okay. So like the race suit kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
Wow, Shell's been with them for that long.
The other thing that was really cool, more about him and not Ferrari. He is a world champion on both motorcycles and F1 cars.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. He says, so if you look up his bio on the Hall of Fame on F1.com, first sentence, famed as the only world champion on both 2 and 4 wheels. John Surtees rode motorcycles and drove Formula 1 cars with equal skill and bravery. So that's not only is he the only driver to win in a blue and white car for Ferrari, he's the only world champion on both motorcycles and Formula 1 cars. This man is a fucking hero. Yeah.
Sick. We have a new favorite. Step away. Wow.
This is nuts.
Oh my god. Now I want to go back to Watkins Glen and look for his name in the little plaque along the street. You know there's one there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Has to be one there.
There's got to be one there.
Wow. Okay, blue Ferrari. Okay. I'm also obsessed that they have the old logo, the old square logo on the hats, on the race suits. But that video is so funny. The video of them, like, it's Charles and Carlos, like, talking about it. And Carlos literally goes, and, like, the old school logo, like, it's sick, like, looks really cool, la, la, la. Literally 2 seconds later, Charles goes, yeah, and the old school logo on the hat. Carlos goes, I just said that.
Just talked about that.
People are like, Charles Leclerc is pretty looking, but there's nothing going on in that head. Nothing.
There's about 1.5 to 1 brain cell in there.
Yeah.
Like,
now I really wish I was in Miami to see the blue Ferrari in person. That'd be.
It's gonna look. So it's gonna look really. I'm hoping that it looks really nice.
Yeah. Hopefully by the time this comes out, we know what it looks like.
Into thinking that it's
No, I feel like I do gaslight myself.
If it's horrible, I'm going silent for all of next week's episode. Because I'll just be just so horribly hit with disappointment.
Okay. Miami. It's time for Miami.
My forehead looks so greasy. It does. Look at it.
And I look so pale in this light. I don't know why. I'm sitting with like my window right in front of me.
I don't have my lights on, which is maybe why I look greasy. But
there's literally no breeze. I thought there was gonna be a breeze.
Yeah.
So hot. There's not. But yes, Miami. Another sprint weekend. First sprint weekend in Miami, which I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah.
So one practice. We also get F1 Academy in Miami, which is sick. Lots to watch. And lots to
I gotta look at the broadcast times for that.
I know I have to look at broadcast times for F1 Academy too, because I definitely want to watch it all. They're fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, their last race was Jeddah, so.
Oh my god.
They took a long break. But yeah. So Miami, obviously we'll do 1 through 4, like usual, for the race. Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
I'll go first. 1, Max.
By 30 seconds or less. Like over 30 seconds, under 30 seconds. We should start adding this in too.
All right, here we go. That maybe helps me actually, because it might be a little bit more delusional. Actually, I don't think it's that delusional. I don't think so. I'm gonna go Max, and then I'm gonna go Lando P2 again this weekend. I think he drove awesome in China. We talked about that a little bit, and this track is a little bit more built for McLaren. At least I think it leans in their favor a little bit more than China did. And they're also bringing upgrades this weekend, which kind of scares me, but it's fine. I think we will be okay. So I'm going to go Lando P2 again. I'm going to go also, I feel like I'm there's legitimate reasons to this other than just it's Red Bull, but I'm going to go Checo third, because right now he's been very consistent and I think he's feeling himself.
He's just closing that door to the second seat more and more.
Yep. And I think this weekend is going to be no different for him. I'm not saying that just because he's in a Red Bull car. I think legitimately he's going to do really well and just continue with this awesome start that he's had this past season. And then fourth, I'm going to go. I will say this. I think it's going to be Charles.
He's off the podium again.
Are Ferraris bringing upgrades this weekend? Do you know?
No,
I haven't seen any.
I saw something that they're testing something during FP1, but
okay,
we're gonna see big upgrades for them in Imola next race.
Okay. I feel like he's due. I feel like not that he's been driving badly, but I think he's due for.
No, I saw. I'm gonna blank on how many races it's been, but he's been in like the top 5 for like 7 to 8 rounds. Like maybe since Singapore last year, he's been like top 7 to 8 rounds or top 5. Yeah, so I like it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, then same thing. Keep going, Mr. Consistency. Then
Max,
keep getting in that top 5.
Lando, Checo, Charles. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Max. Wait, you didn't answer the question. Is Max going to win with 30 seconds?
Oh, I think it's
over or under.
I think it's under. I think it'll be under.
Okay. Max. I also think it's going to be under. I'm going to say Checo. I think it'll be a Red Bull 1-2.
Okay.
Max, Checo. I'm putting Charles on the podium. Like you said, he's been so close, but I think he gets onto the podium this week. I think he bounces back from his Miami last year, because Miami last year was not a good week for him. He spun off the track like every session, if you remember, went right into the gravel.
Yes.
I don't think, but he was also pushing last year's car at the beginning so hard. So
he was trying to get something out of that car that he really couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this year he doesn't have to do that. So I think Max, Checo, Charles, and I'm going to go Fernando for.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I leave McLaren off is because of the upgrades. I the upgrades
You think
make
it's
me
a little
nervous.
risky?
I can see, one practice session with upgrades immediately into sprint qualifying. Yeah, I don't know.
That's it. Yeah.
And what's the weather like? It is Miami, so probably
I
hot.
thought it was
but,
supposed to be decent. Like I didn't see anything like crazy.
Miami. Right now there's a 30% chance of rain on Sunday, but it's sunny.
I was
and
just about to say there is
beautiful.
rain on Sunday, but it's not giving me like hours because the race isn't until 4. So it's like
there's also 30% chance. Like I don't. It's literally Miami. They can like. It's Florida. It can rain for like 5 minutes once every day.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, so we will see. But yeah, okay. So you, Max, Lando, Checo, Charles, me, Max, Checo, Charles, Fernando. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like it's like always our same picks, but it's like there's all good reasoning behind it, other than just like I'm being crazy or like I'm picking it just because it's a Red Bull.
I mean, last year we were delusional like with half of them. I feel like this year we have a better understanding. Now, when it comes to Monaco week, I will be full delusional. I'm saying it now.
That's fair. You know what? I feel like we're allowed like at least like 2 or 3 delusional races.
Yeah, like you can be delusional for Silverstone. Like
yeah.
But yeah, okay, cool. But yes, anything else you want to add?
I got nothing.
Okay. Okay, promise. This is a short one.
This is a shorter one, yeah.
Whole 45 minutes shorter than last week. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening to this week's episode of F1 Underground. If you enjoy this episode and our other episodes, please give us a follow on Instagram at Threads at UndergroundF1, and over on Twitter at Underground_F1. If you have any, we're also on LinkedIn now. You can search us up there to find us.
Yeah.
We're finally joined there. Like we said last week, we're trying to be a little serious on that end, but I'm not live posting on LinkedIn like I am on Threads. Could you imagine?
Should do that one night.
We'll
live post on LinkedIn when we do the F1 Underground at night stream when we're drunk. That's what we'll do. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a good look. But yes, so please give us a follow. If you have any questions, comments, send us over an email at undergroundf1pod@gmail.com. And then, as always, please leave us a review or send us a like on wherever you listen to podcasts, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or if you watch the video over on YouTube. But yeah, with that being said, we will be back next week to recap Miami. Maybe that's it. Yeah, because there's a break before. Imola is next?
Yes. Yeah,
you
just said it, Imola.
Yeah, but now I'm second guessing myself. Yeah, Imola. Yeah,
yes.
Imola, Monaco. There's 3 races in May. Miami, Imola, Monaco. Bam, bam, bam. 3 good races.
Boom, boom, boom.
We'll be back next week to recap Miami, like I said. Maybe it'll be another fiery week in the press box after sprint race weekend. But yeah, thank you so much, and we will see you next week.